What's going on, all you Minties? This is the Uncanny Omar, and better late than never. Join me today as I go over my haul for the month of October of 2021. So, let's get started. And welcome back, everybody. I know it's almost the middle of the month. Is it past the middle of the month that I missed my mark? But anyway, I wanted to go ahead and do my overview of the books that I picked up in October. I was waiting for a couple of packages, and it was insane how long I had to wait. So, because of the holiday season, I understand there's going to be delays in shipping. As a matter of fact, I'm still waiting for my review copy of Conan, the original Marvel Years, Omnibus Volume 6, which I think most everybody that was interested in it got. But as soon as I get it, I'll be doing an overview of it. But let's go ahead and get started. We got lots of trade paperbacks, lots of hardcovers, and some of these books I've already done overviews for, so I'll leave the link above. So if you are interested in a book, you can click on the link above to take you straight to that overview. The very first thing I wanted to talk about comes from Scotty G. Scott, thank you so much. He sent me a full set of Jim Starlin's Dreadstar, issues 1 through 26, including the annual. Now, he knows I don't get the single issues anymore. I stick to collected editions. So he said I could keep them or give them away. But I tell you what, it's been a long time since I've seen these single issues. I used to get a couple of them from the 25-cent box at Dr. Comics in the flea market. And I know I've talked about that guy. Boy, that guy should have been one of my sponsors. I don't even know if he's still alive. But anyway, I remember picking up a few of these mainly because of this cover right here. And I recognized the name Jim Starlin because of the Infinity Gauntlet. So I immediately went to pick him up. I thought it had something to do with Thanos. I thought the Epic line was Marvel Comics. And it was. It was just their Epic line. And I think the only thing that they use from the Epic line is the actual Epic line. The actual Epic logo. Or not the Epic logo, I'm sorry. But the actual title, Epic, for their Marvel Epic lines. Is that confusing? That was a little bit confusing. Should have worded that a little bit better. And so yes, Marvel did have an Epic Comics that was not part of the Marvel continuity. So think Vertigo, think Ultimate Universe, and that's where the color version of Akira was printed. That's where a lot of comics that are now under different copyrights and belong to the writers or the artists, that's where they were originally published, and here's issue 26. So thank you so much. I may keep these or I may give them away as part of our celebration when we get to 60,000, but it's regardless, this was really cool. And speaking of giveaways, I interviewed Tony Fleece talking about Stray Dogs being one of my favorite books, and he sent me some copies for giveaways, including this copy right here, which is a variant cover to this cover right here. So these will be part of a giveaway. That is a really cool. That's a take on what is it called? Goosebumps. Goosebumps. Even though that was after my youth, I still know what Goosebumps is. So another creator that reached out to me was H.H. Herman, and he has this book right now from Sigma Comics called Here Comes Calico. Now they don't have any collected editions yet. But I told him, since my channel focuses mostly on collected editions, that when they do one, please, by all means, reach out to me, and we'll look it over to highlight the book and to let my viewers know. But he does do some self-publishing, so this is his title right here from Sigma Comics, Here Comes Calico. So he's printing this himself, and I've not read it. This is issue number 3 of an 8-issue series, so he did tell me that when all 8 issues are done, there's going to be a trade paperback, so I'm looking forward to reading that. But this is what the artwork looks like in case you get single issues and you want to support independent creators. And I know there's several YouTubers out there that did a video on this particular comic right here, that did a review on it, like BJ Kicks and the Hardcover Collector. So if you're interested in it, you know, check out those videos. I'm going to wait until the trade comes out, but I really do want to thank him for sending me a copy of this right here. And this is all printed at Sigma Comics. And it is explicit content, so maybe not for everybody. And then I had these wonderful folks reach out to me on Twitter. This is Heroineberg Comics, issue number 1 and issue number 2. One came out in 2019, and one came out in 2020. I don't know if they have a collection yet, but we did talk about that. These are independent comics again. And I believe they're out of the Pennsylvania area, if I'm not mistaken. And they do have a YouTube channel. And they do have a DeviantArt if you want to follow them there. But this is what the type of artwork looks like. It's very independent. This is the kind of stuff I love finding at comic book stores. Just randomly. So this again is called Heroineberg. Both of the comics do have art on the back. So I really appreciate them sending me this. Thank you all so much. Alright, so my buddy Freddie asked if I've ever read Veal by Greg Rucka, and I said, no, I haven't. He said, okay. This is drawn by Tony Fegzula, and he said, it's not your typical Greg Rucka story, but I'm going to send it to you anyway. So I said, sure. I haven't read it. Let's see what it's about. Okay, naked lady with a bunch of rats, so let's skip that. You know what? The less I know about it, the better, so I can make my own judgment on it. Apparently, Freddie did not like this, so I'm wondering what he didn't like about it. This was printed over at Dark Horse Comics. Again, it's called Veal. That was a standard size hardcover. And this is Winnebago Graveyard. This is one that I've been wanting to read by Steve Niles and Allison Sampson. Printed over at Image. And I used to read 30 Days a Night. I was waiting for a complete hardcover collection of that, but for some reason it's just not happening. So I'm still waiting on it because I got rid of my trade. Actually, I gave away my trades to a friend of mine that like, oh, that's awesome. But let's skip that in case you're a little easy to get queasy. That's not a thing. But anyway, we'll skip those pages that are gruesome. But I was going to say, yeah, I gave my 30 Days a Night to a friend of mine that liked horror movies, and I was trying to get into comics because I'm that friend. I'm the type of friend that tries to get everyone in his friends group and family to read comic books. And I said, dude, you like Tales from the Crypt, you like that show, you love horror movies, let me check out 30 Days a Night, because he was thinking about getting Walking Dead, and he just couldn't get into it. So he did end up enjoying it so much that he ended up keeping my copies and moving away. But hey, what are you going to do? Like I said, at the time, I was waiting on a hardcover anyway. I don't know what this is about. It looks like some kind of cult, but it is Steve Niles, and I do like Allison Sampson's artwork. This is my favorite comic of the last few years already. I love this book. Mark Millar, Young Hellboy, The Hidden Land. So Mike Mignola. This is his hardcover edition. It is a standard size hardcover. Artwork is by Craig Rizzo. And it's the stories of just a young Hellboy. Ever since his first appearance, you know when Hellboy came out of that hell pit that he was a young boy. And it's just him and his father on earthly adventures. Before he was part of the BPRD, before he was Hell on Earth, he was just young Hellboy. I guess this is a take on Young Indiana Jones, the title. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. This one just came out, I believe, in October. It did get a bunch of delays, but it finally came out. And this is something that I completely missed. This is Hellboy Weird Tales. And I had to get it through the third party because I'm doing a BPRD reading order. And there's my receipt. But here is Hellboy Weird Tales. This is just stories, short stories, written by several different people, including Mike Mignola, but just different artists. And this was originally in 2 trade paperbacks and, of course, 8 issues. But I totally missed out on the hardcover. I don't know why. But I went back and got it because I thought, well, you know, the rest of my stuff, the BPRD and the Hellboy stuff, all that stuff is in hardcover format, like the Secret Histories or Hellboy in the BPRD. I might as well get this in. Man, that is some gorgeous artwork. I remember there was some awesome talent in here. I think Fabian Nicieza wrote one of my favorite stories in, I think it's in volume 2, so I guess it would be towards the back here. But what I was going to say is that this is also available in 2 trade paperback formats. It's out of print, so I had to pay a little extra for it than I wanted to. And by extra, I mean shipping. I have a rule of not paying things over cover. But for this, I made an exception because they were charging retail, but then I had to pay for shipping, which was like $10. So, not that bad considering the book's been out of print for quite a number of years. There's Jason Pearson's artwork back there. So, all kinds of talent. Writing and drawing Hellboy. Again, available in hardcover format and 2 softcovers. It does have a dust jacket, like the BPRD library or hardcovers and Abe Sapien. Oh yes, Birds of Prey, baby, fighters by trade. These stupid books, if you don't get them the first month and you forget, they have been going out of print like crazy. This is the new printing of Gail Simone's run on Birds of Prey. So it's her, Ed Benes, Joe Bennett, eventually Nicola Scott joining her run on Birds of Prey, which is my favorite run on Birds of Prey. Now, to clarify everything that is going on with the solicitations, this does collect issues 81 through 91 of the Birds of Prey by Gail Simone. They don't give you the issue number, they just give you the cover, and then the cover art, and the credits for the cover, and then you get the issue. So, like the rest of them, printed in this thick matte paper. I think this is artwork here by Joe Bennett. Yeah. Gail Simone kicks so much. This is a calculator fight right here. She kicked so much ass in this series. This is one that I really want in omnibus format. And don't get me wrong, I love Chuck Dixon's run on Birds of Prey. I think his run was amazing and got me into these characters. But I wouldn't be the fan of Oracle if it wasn't for him, really. But Gail Simone's run was just perfection. And then when you throw Nicola Scott and you see Nicola Scott's artwork evolve, and that will be in the next trade paperback, I believe. But that is Fighters by Trade. This one retails for $24.99. Here's one that was suggested to me by a lot of you all from my hidden gems. So, I don't know anything about it. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have looked at that. Wow, the ratings are high. This is Magnus. This is by Kyle Higgins and Jorge Foñez. And it is the Sovereign's Magnus, Between Two Worlds, from Dynamite. Dynamite! This is one that it was you all, through my hidden gems, that recommended me this title. That's why I love doing hidden gems, because I get as much out of it as you all do. So, I don't know anything about this. I do like Kyle Higgins. He's written some really good stuff. But you all recommended, wow, that is some cool artwork. Reminds me of Sam Nee's artwork a little bit. But you all recommended me so many cool things, and I do write every single one of them down. I just can't buy them all at the same time, right? And yeah, this is one that stuck out. Just on that cover alone, I just dug the design of the cover. So I went ahead and got it. So this is Magnus from Dynamite. Waited and waited on a hardcover, but I broke down and got Justice League Odyssey. A series that I don't think will ever get the hardcover treatment. I believe there's only 4 of these, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of the reason I got this was because of the artwork by Stepan Sajic. Just draw some gorgeous stuff. But this takes place during the DC Rebirth era, and when DC was giving all their Rebirth era oversized hardcovers, I thought, well, maybe there's a chance. Yeah, I think this is a forgotten title. Unless they Justice League Dark it, right? And what I mean by that is that, hey, we had this Justice League Dark title, and it wasn't getting any love outside of the trades. Some of the trades went out of print. And then out of nowhere, they were like, hey, let's make an omnibus. So is that Asbat? I think that's Asbat. That's cool. I haven't read this stuff. I've just read the first volume. But, yeah, I wanted to pick it up because I wanted to collect the series because I wasn't enjoying it. And then you have Dan Abnett writing some of the story. And speaking of Justice League Dark, I did do an overview of this. So you can click on the link above to check out my overview of this particular series. And that is Justice League Dark, one of the biggest DC omnis. Finally got my copy of Did You Hear What Ed Gaine Done? And oh my gosh, the main reason I went in for this was, I'm not gonna lie, it's because I have this fascination with stories like this. My wife can tell you how many times I've seen documentaries on serial killers. So if you're not familiar with Eddie Gaine, he is who loosely one of the characters in Silence of the Lambs is based on, or Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And the other big reason is Eric Powell. Now, I'm not really that familiar with Harold Schechter, but this story is so intriguing. I just got it in a couple of weeks ago. I started reading it, and then I put it down. I don't remember why. I think I had to go and read Amazing Spider-Man or one of those big Marvel Omnis, and I've completely forgot about it. It comes with a nice dust jacket, and let me just tell you, every year I do my top 10 favorite reads of 2020, 2021, what year we're in. You can bet this one will probably show up in that video. The Kyle pile. All right. My buddy Kyle sent me just a stack of books here. We're going to be looking at these. This one is The Complete Suiciders, The Big Shake. But I don't know anything about this other than Lee Bermejo. And then you have Matt Hollingsworth, who I assume is doing the colors for this. So this right here is the Kings of Hell. Okay, L.A. Kings of L.A. So this is all written, drawn by Lee Bermejo. He's got other artists that help him out through here. Yeah, you could tell the different types of art. This one is printed by Vertigo Comics, and one that I've not heard of. I didn't even know what this was. I don't know what this is going into it. And sometimes that makes for a better read. But apparently this is the Complete Suiciders. It's all the issues in this particular series. I think the book, just from the shape that it came in, is out of print. I'm not complaining at all. I'm just saying that it looks like it was used. So I don't think it's still in print. And man, it's just got some gorgeous artwork. He's the guy that did Batman Damned. And I know some people love and hate that story. But I've always been a big fan of his artwork. So I'm in for this. And it's a Vertigo title. Rest in peace, Vertigo. He also got me this. Michael Avon Oeming's The Victories. This is an omnibus, but it is a softcover omnibus, printed by Dark Horse Comics. So sometimes an omnibus can be softcover, sometimes it can be hardcover. That's why I always check with videos like this to see what exactly you're getting. But this is Michael Oeming, the guy that drew Powers with Brian Michael Bendis. He's done other work for Marvel and DC. He did some things over in Avengers. He actually wrote Thor Ragnarok, the latest Thor Ragnarok during the Disassembled era. But this one is definitely mature content. I started reading the first issue just because the cover intrigued me. I really like that design. And I think I've seen this character before. It is a thick book, though. I'm not going to lie. This is a big fatty. Look at that. So hopefully the spine will stay intact. I mean, it's not compendium size, but I always worry about big books like the spine creasing or breaking. So, yeah, this is cool. Thank you. Now, this is a book I did hear about that he sent me. This is Green Valley. And the only reason I heard about this is printed over at Image. This is it's a beautiful hardcover. The only reason I heard about this is because I'm a fan of Giuseppe Camuncoli. And he was posting some of the art from here online. And whenever you have a fantasy feel to art, or you have a fantasy story in comics, I'm in. You know, it could be the worst thing I've read, or it could be one of the best things I've read. That is so badass. But I want to give it a shot. You know, all this is missing is just little anthropomorphic animals with swords. That's my kind of storytelling. That's what I'm in for. But Camuncoli's artwork is awesome. He's drawn Wolverine. He's drawn Spider-Man. And this is a series that I was very excited about. The colors look amazing. So I didn't even know that this was out in hardcover format. So I'm glad that Kyle, thank you, buddy, sent this my way. And the biggest surprise was this. This is Frank Herbert's Dune. This is the graphic novel, book 1. So I don't know how many they're going to be. He sent me the slipcase edition. This is a beautiful slipcase. Here, let's actually look at the spine here of the slipcase. Deluxe Edition, Book 1. I think it's also available in just Deluxe Edition. This is what the back of the slipcase was. So printed by Abrams Comic Arts. And it's printed in this hardcover format. And the paper quality is this thick, glossy paper. So it's the graphic novel, Book 1. There's an acknowledgement here. Then you have your preface, or preface, I like to call it. English, man. It was such a hard language for me to learn. I don't think I've even managed to quite grasp it yet. Wow, the artwork is awesome. So, I believe that this is a take on the book. So, this is the graphic novel version of the books. So, if you've seen the movie, you may want to come and check this out. I know Volume 2, or the second book, was just announced. Featuring, well, one of the other families. I can't go into detail in case you haven't seen the book, but man, this looks gorgeous. I haven't read the book since the 8th grade. I read the book in the 8th grade and I fell in love with it. After, what happened was I watched the 80s cut of the movie. And then Sci-Fi Channel, when I was in the 8th grade, had a director's cut. But it's not the director's cut. It's not the true Yodo director's cut. It was the David Lynch cut, even though he didn't really approve it. But it was 4 hours long, and I wanted to know more about the world. So, yeah, I went and read Dune. And sure, it's a little bit boring. I can understand why people were a little bored of the movie. But, man, it was so good. The world building is so amazing. But this is the graphic novel, and I can't wait to read this. Again, it is available. I know in this format right here, the cover might be different. Or it's available in the slipcase edition. So, thank you so much, Kyle. Now, Organic Price Books did send me a copy of Something is Killing the Children. This is the slipcase edition. So, along with that, I got Volume 4 of Blade of the Immortal, which, if you all want me to, I'll be happy to do an overview of this. Just let me know in the comments down below. But I love this series. It's one of my favorite manga. And even though we all know this is going to be collected in a big hardcover format, here is Reckless, Destroy All Monsters. That when a lot of people see that title, they think Godzilla. It's a kaiju book. No, it's part of the Ed Brubaker criminal universe. But here is Reckless. And like I said, when all this is said and done, I'm sure there's going to be a big fat hardcover collection of it. But right now, this is the standard size hardcover. And I've been enjoying these in this format. And speaking of format, could not find the hardcover, but I went ahead and got the softcover. Not that hardcover, softcover is a big deal to me, but I do like to own things in hardcover format if they're available. But this is Providence by Alan Moore. And I know there was a limited signed edition, there was a slipcase edition of this, and there was a hardcover edition. But for some reason I didn't find the hardcover edition, so I got the softcover edition. And then I can't wait to read this. This is a book that I've never read. Is it supposed to be like that, I assume? Yeah, okay. This is a series I've never read, and I've always wanted to, because, I mean, it's Alan Moore. It looks dialogue heavy, and of course you've got Alan Moore's prose in there that he likes to add to just about all his books. But nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with liking lots of reading. That's to come expected with some of these writers. And honestly, I'm okay with that. That's what manga's there for, so I could take a break and do a palate cleanser. So yes, I can't wait to read this. I did do an overview of Nocturnals. If you want to check that out, this is Dan Brereton's book from Dark Horse Comic. To me, this is a damn good deal. $29.99 for this big, beautiful book. Just click the link above to take you right to the overview. Now, one of my favorite publishers that publishes about 1 or 2 books, sometimes 3 or 4 a month, is Magnetic Press. I love the uniqueness to their hardcovers, and I know some people have issues with this because they have rounded corners. I love that. It's unique. I know when I'm looking at a Magnetic Press book because they have those rounded corners. These next 3 books that I'm going to be showing here, I think there's 3 of them, I know nothing about. I just went based on the cover, and I saw some of the artwork on the inside. But this is Small World by J.D. Morvan and Toru Terada. No idea what this is about, and all I know is that sometimes that makes for one of the best reading experiences somebody could have. It looks very ultra-violent. It looks like an adult version of some anime that I've seen. I believe this was originally published in France, if I'm not mistaken, but that artwork, man, that is awesome. And honestly, the cover is what got me. The cover is the reason why I ordered this, because that angle is just creepy. But the art on the inside looks awesome. Same reason I got After the Fall, because of that cover. I assume this takes place, just based on the background, in a post-apocalyptic world on Earth. And this lady, oh my gosh, the art is gorgeous. So this is written by Laurent Kessy, and the illustrated in colors by Yusen. And there's lots of violence in here, so I had to skip some pages, so this one is mature content for sure. But this artwork, there's something cartoony and CG finish to it that I like. It adds to the creepiness of this world that they're in. Ooh, I can't wait to dive into this. Okay, this one is a little bit slimmer. Doesn't seem like the page count is as thick as the Small World page count, but regardless, that is After the Fall from Magnetic Press. And the other Magnetic Press book I got, based on the cover alone, is Ashes, Ashes from J.D. Morvan and Walter and Ray Makutai. Hey, J.D. Morgan, he's the guy that wrote Small World, or J.D. Morgan, sorry. So this is Ashes, Ashes, based on the novel Ravage. Okay. So this is what the artwork looks like. Maybe it happens after some kind of war, or we could be looking at a post-apocalyptic future again. Regardless, the artwork, my gosh. So the reason I like Magnetic Press is they bring over a lot of European titles to America. And a lot of them go flying under people's radar. And one thing I like to stress, this is something I said when I was talking to Mark Waid, who now runs Humanoids, is that it does take some use to reading European books if you're not familiar with their style of writing. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's different than what you're used to in the Western world. Same thing with manga. Takes a while to get used to reading manga. They make interesting editing decisions sometimes in their books that you feel like, well, that would be different if it was done in the West. Yeah, that's true. But we're looking at European books. Oh man, this one's gorgeous. And this one is Ashes, Ashes, Magnetic Press. I went to Baltimore Comic Con. Really, I went to TF Con. But I found this at one of the places that had bargain books. Bought it for $2. This is Trilogy USA. This is another book from Europe and translated into English. So one that I've been wanting to read. Look at this artwork, man. $2, $3, however much I paid for this. Man, the artwork alone is price of admission. Let's see what the third story looks like. I gotta be careful flipping through here because this one has mature content. And look at all that reading. Oh man, I can't wait. So translated into English, this is Trilogy USA. It's a hardcover release from Dark Horse Comics. My box set of Hill House, I also picked this up. And this one also has an overview on the channel already. Opening up the Hill House Comics box set. Then my buddy Freddie sent me some Black Widow books. He said, you may or may not have these already, and if I do, I'll be giving them away, of course, for a giveaway. But I don't think I had this one. This is the Greg Rucka and Devin Grayson book right here. It's got beautiful artwork by J.G. Jones, and this is an introduction to this character right here, a bigger introduction to Yelena, who plays a big character in Black Widow, not only the comics, but also the movies. So I don't think I had this one, and I think I did have this one. So regardless, I'll be giving the ones away that I did have. So thank you, Freddie. He also sent Redneck Volume 3, which I haven't even bought Volume 2 yet. I need to. I really thought we were going to get a hardcover of this. This, again, is Donny Cates' books on vampires that are rednecks. Love the first volume. Probably one of my favorite hidden gems. And this is Volume 3. Have not read Volume 4, so I gotta stop flipping through there. And then he sent me Graffity's Wall, Ram V, and Say No More. You had me at Ram V, my dude. So, Ram V has just been blowing up everywhere, mainly at DC. I remember a couple of years ago, Wonder Maddie and I reviewing These Savage Shores, and I fell in love with his writing, and I wanted more. So not only is he still writing independent stuff, but he's also working for the big two. So that makes me happy. I'm happy to have more Ram V in my library. Now here's a book series that I didn't have, and this is Clean Room. I got this during October, but it didn't come in until about 2 days ago. It was just, I don't know, out in limbo somewhere. But Gail Simone, this is a horror story that a lot of people talk about. I believe there's 4 volumes of this series, but my goodness, this artwork looks awesome. I don't know what it's about. This one's called The Immaculate Conception, but you had me at Gail Simone, and this art looks awesome. Another book I can't wait to read, and if I get hooked on it, I will probably order the rest of the trade paperbacks. I know some of you all have suggested I read this during my Hidden Gems, which is the reason why I bought it. And I ordered it all the way back in early October, and it finally came in 2 days ago, believe it or not. But hey, that's holiday shipping. You all knew I was going to get this by now, but I did do a complete detailed overview of the complete life and times of Scrooge McDuck, the Lux edition from Fantagraphics, if you want to check it out. To get my actual, authentic, natural reaction as I'm opening in the box, go watch that video. And last but certainly not least is finally Philip Kennedy Johnson's Last God, a book that I got so many people to buy just based on reading what the description was. Oh my gosh, I can't remember when those solicits were. Last year sometime. And then I couldn't find my copy, just took forever to get here. I made the mistake of pre-ordering it from Barnes & Noble, and for some reason they didn't ship it out. I finally got it towards the end of October, but here it is. I can't wait to read this. This looks amazing. This is another one of those fantasy books. It's part of DC Black Label's line, meaning that it's out of the DC continuity. So this is more like DC Vertigo. I believe there were a total of 12 chapters collected in here. There looks like there's some prose stuff in here. It just looks amazing. The only thing is that, let's go to the back, see if there's anything extra without going into spoilers. Here's your bios right here. Pretty unique way of doing the bios. The only thing that I wish that this was an oversized hardcover format. To see this artwork in oversized hardcover format would have been awesome. But hardcover, standard size, I'll take what I can get. Cannot wait to read this. And that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing some of these books, don't forget to check out our sponsors. If you live in Europe and are interested in pre-ordering or purchasing Omnis, then you should definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices for Marvel and DC big books within the EU. Flat shipping of €9.90 for EU countries. Extremely careful and sturdy packaging. Emails are answered within 24 hours. And they have a superb selection of new releases and out-of-print books on their website. Just head over to waltzcomicshop.com for more great deals and rare titles. And for a limited time, you can use the code nearmintcon, all one word, at the checkout for free shipping to all EU countries with your first order. Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for Omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They pride themselves on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. Check out the bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. CGN is excited to announce that they are now taking pre-orders. They're making it easier for you to ensure that you don't miss out on the hottest releases. CGN is currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, let them know that you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. This promotion is valid for U.S. customers only. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount and quality shipping and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was my haul for the month of October. Let me know in the comments down below which books you picked up, which books you're picking up for the month of November. And I know some dates are shifting around, so it's kind of a bit of a mess right now. But hopefully those things will straighten back out come December. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button, ring that bell for notifications. We are on Spreadshop and on Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so. And thank you so much to our existing patrons. Could not be making videos like this without all of you. And more importantly, everyone, please stay healthy, stay safe out there, and much love.